Joe's Automotive Archaeology here. This is another tote from Phillipson Ford in Argyle, Wisconsin. This is tote number 15. And I gotta be a little honest, I pulled a couple at random off of the pile and they were pretty heavy. So I opened them up and looked, and they're just more of that brochures and manuals, and I've already done one video of that, and I just, that's gonna just be a duplicate. So I think I'm gonna try to filter those out because there was a considerable amount of that stuff in there in this lot, and a lot of it's newer, like within the last 20 years. So I mean, it's not all that interesting. So I'll try to keep it to the interesting stuff. But anyway, gonna get started on this tote. Looks like we got 8BA 8502. That is for the last generation of flathead. Okay, that is a water pump for a 239. Probably also fits the 255 Mercury. I'm not sure if this is a left or hand or a right hand. I think it's a 8501 and 8502. So 8502 is a right hand. It's an even number. Generally, that indicates right hand, but of course, like all rules, there's exceptions. So there are two water pumps. This is pretty good. It's a vintage rebuilt, vintage remanufactured. These usually go for a decent amount of money, probably $150 to $200, I think. So that'll be a good one. I'll look that up. I'll put that up in the store as is. Water pumps generally aren't all that lucrative, but flathead stuff is good. Always good. Flathead stuff's always good. And this is doesn't have the company, but it does say authorized reconditioner. So Ford didn't recondition or rebuild or remanufacture their own parts. They sent them out to their authorized people, and that Northern Rebuilders is one of them. And this one's another one. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, I gotta straighten this out here. This is a counter book. These are catalogs. I've had these before. Bearings. It's Universal Inner Sub. I think these are just. It's just bearings. It's all they sell. I think. Or mostly what they sell. What else they got in here? Oh, they got all kinds of stuff. Okay. Engine assemblies, fuel pumps, fuel tanks, manifolds, complete motors. It's basically is a catalog of part numbers. This stuff is really good because the thing that happens a lot with classic parts is, and the one that comes to mind is Thompson products. I see a lot of Thompson Products parts, and Thompson Products have their own part numbers. So the problem ends up being, unless you have a Thompson Products catalog or you can find that catalog number somewhere during a Google search, you're not going to be able to figure out what it is, generally. So I mean, I've had lots of Thompson Products parts that ended up just, I had to just dispose of them because there's no way to figure out. Thompson Products catalogs come up for sale occasionally on eBay. They're usually pretty expensive. So it's not a bad investment, but there's no PDF like there is for the Ford catalogs. And they're pretty closely guarded. I mean, people don't give them up very often. So but these are pretty good. This is pretty interesting. This is a good collection of these catalogs. I've had one or two at times. I think I sold them at auction before. They generally do pretty well, but this one should do pretty well. It's not very good condition, but generally they don't have to be. Used condition is fine because they'll get used. But it's a nice little Universal intersub, interchangeability, and substitution. Okay, so this is like this is an interchange catalog. Gotcha. Okay. That's what these are. I've always wondered. I thought that was a company, but it's not. Just shows you which parts interchange with others. That's a good one. Who knows, I might actually keep that for my personal catalog collection, although I don't generally keep those because I don't use them enough to justify using up that much space. This is a 76. The part number indicates it's a 76 Mustang. It may fit other years and other applications. Depends on what the engine is. I have to look up the individual application. That looks like a 4-cylinder. Yeah, I mean, you'll have to look it up. It's not. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head like I can with the flathead stuff. But this might, it's old enough that maybe somebody's looking for it. It is an authorized Ford remanufacturer. That was pretty good. Here's another one. This one's heavy. Jeez, some of these things are really heavy. I had a lot of truck stuff with that lot from Little Dearborn. I had some huge. This is a generator or a starter. I had some huge, like early 60s, like 60s and into the 70s water pumps for the Ford trucks. The pickups are just god-awful huge. They weighed like 15, 20 pounds, and they were just so unwieldy. E1AZ, so 1981 something starter. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. It may be worth it. It may not. It just, that's the way it is with these replacement parts. They can be something. They can be nothing. It just depends on if they fall into that kind of area where there's enough demand for them that people want them, but not enough demand that the parts places are gonna make them. So we'll see. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yep, and once again, I violated Rule 68, I think it is. Never go anywhere without a knife. I don't have my knife on me. It's sitting inside at my desk. I was using it in there. Instead of putting it back in my pocket, I put it on my desk. But we'll just open this up and see what's in it. Anyway. It's like Christmas. Kind of guessing this isn't anything in here that I would want for Christmas, though. All right, we'll see here. What do we got? Oh, okay. It is a box full of small parts. In this case, an empty wrapper. Looks like, okay, tune-up, point set, condenser, valve assembly. Is that a accelerator pump? I'm not sure. These look like stud. That is a headlight, or that looks like a headlight switch. It's not very good condition. Condenser. Okay, what we got here are a bunch of tune-up parts. Now these generally, I won't waste my time with them unless I have multiples of the same thing. Even then, probably not, because it's just not. They don't sell for enough, and there's too much competition. Especially if they're modern. Okay. These are, I've had these before. This part number's faded on this, but these are switches. I want to say they're, is it a push button starter switch? I'm not sure, but I've had these before several years ago, so I've still got the listing in my online store, which I've got hidden, but it'll be in there, so I can look those up in there. Points. Here's another. That one's, see, that one's not in very good condition either. These can be reconditioned. You can kind of polish them and stuff, but it only depends you know, if it's worth a lot, that's something that Dennis Carpenter would probably reproduce. Okay, there's some points, a condenser, EOTZ, so that's for 1980 something. I'm going to put that up here with that pile of keys and stuff that I have up there that I'm saving. See, there's 2 of those. D4ZZ, that's a condenser. These are all tune-up parts for, it looks like 70s. You know, I've been putting a lot of stuff up for auction, and this box I think is no exception to that rule. I think this is a good candidate, just all of it, all at once, up as an auction. It'll probably do fairly well, just because tune-up parts. You know, these condensers will probably be, you know, $3, $4, or $5 a piece, which, you know, that's fine selling $3, $4, $5 parts, but the problem is they sell really slowly. So I have all these parts that I'm having to store, and I simply don't have a lot of room for them. So what I'll do with these, I won't even look any of them up. I'll just put them all in a big lot. They'll go up. Probably everything here will just go up in one big lot, and you know, this is probably a $40, $50 lot. So it's worth my time to put that up as an auction. So that's a good one. Go in there too. B9TF, multiple pack items, switch, insert, and knob. Package of 4 pieces. Okay, that is the package for the knob. So that's a 59. That goes with this. And there were 4 of them in there. That might be, yeah, maybe residue. These might clean up okay. I'll have to look those up separately. And I'll look those up separately and see what they go for. That may be worth it. Okay. Oh, we got a good. Okay. Here we go. I was talking about the film strips. And they came with 45s. Here's a stack of John Deere 45 RPM records. So if you're having trouble sleeping at night, you can play semi-integral moldboard plows, or 15A and 16A rotary choppers. Comfort and convenience features of John Deere's new generation of power. AW and RW disc harrows, side 1, side 2. So these came with the film strips, which I have some sitting up here from before, and I'll put these together. And hopefully, as I go through the all of this stuff, I can find. Some of these don't have. Ooh, these are pretty. Some of these are in horrible condition. The ones in the packaging are okay condition, but there's a dozen of them there. Film strips here. The new 2010 John Deere presents the new 2010 row crop tractors. That can't be the year. That's got to be a tractor number, because they wouldn't have done film strips 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Okay, comfort and convenience features of John Deere's new generation of power. So that, I just saw that 45 in there. So these are the ones that I had sitting out. So I'm going to put those off to the side, and hopefully I'll be able to find more. Okay, here's one of these. And I've got a box. It looks like there might be more of them in here. These are cool. These are really cool. I don't think they're really worth that much. But, you know, you just never know with the John Deere people. John Deere collectibles are a lot bigger than, like, Ford collectibles. Okay, so we got this. Oh, here we go. Okay, here is... It's empty. These are cool. Ford Division, Ford Motor Company. We got the Big Swing, Tell Me Mister, 9 Keys to Truck Selling. Flathead Nail. Oh, it looks like it's glued shut. The Case of Abner Tossaway. New car delivery. Know Your Competition. Produced by Wilding Picture Productions, Inc. These are kind of cool. They're all look like they're empty. And it probably, I would guess, these look old enough. There's no dates on here, but these look old enough. I could probably look these up based on the style of the label, but I bet these had nitrocellulose film strips in them. Ooh. I don't know what that is. An unknown substance. Yeah. Fun. I'll sell that on eBay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, those I had a group of those that I sold 7 months ago that I think I got, you know, $40, $50 for. They're kind of cool, and there's people that collect them, you know. Ask for every seed, as they say. Okay. A vintage first aid kit. Well, that just broke. Okay. Ouchless Band-Aids. 49 cents. Wow. I don't know what that's from. That's a curiosity that's probably going to end up in the garbage. Okay. These. There's a few of these in here, not many. What's that? It's a hose Y. That might be worth looking at. These Jiffy Kits, they are carburetor rebuild kits. And there's a couple of problems with these. There's air conditioning parts. That's another, whatever that is. The issue with these carburetor rebuild parts is the same issue. There's a couple different issues with them. There's the same issue as with the gasket sets. They're opened. Like here, this bag's been torn open. So I run into a lot of parts like this where there's just somebody wanted a part out of the set, so they yanked it out. They got the set down, and they tore it open, and they got the part they needed, and they threw it back on the shelf. You know, back in the day, years ago, in the parts department. So these are opened, and so I don't know if they're complete or not. I'm just going to assume they're not. This one's open too, looks like. Yeah, this one's been open too, so who knows what's missing and what's there. But the even bigger issue with these kits is ethanol gas. Rubber pieces in here. You can't use these really if you're going to unless you're going to use non-ethanol gas. You can't use these because they'll just, whatever rubber parts are in there plastic parts will just melt. It'll wreak all kinds of havoc with them. I mean, unless you've ethanolized your motor, you're gonna have issues. This other stuff, air conditioning service parts. That looks like a clutch piece for a compressor. Air conditioning service parts generally are slow sellers. Those will probably end up in a lot. These I'll probably, I hate to say it, but the best place for those is probably the garbage because they're not sellable. They're incomplete. They're not sellable. Okay, here's the rest of this. Okay, B8A. Now that's a 1958 part number. The B stands for is the 1950s decade. The 8 is the year. That doesn't necessarily mean they only used it for 1 year. It would be given a part number, and then it would be used with that part number until that part number was superseded or retired or made obsolete. And there are some part numbers that are decades old that are still in use today. But this bottle certainly does not look like it's from the 50s. And it looks like it's sealed. Here's another one. I've sold chemicals like this before. Like this. Okay, here we go. I had a bunch of these a while back. Liquid tire chain. I put them up for auction. I ended up getting a decent amount of money for them. There's 2 cans of that. Slip spray dry lubricant. That's going to go in the garbage. These cans are dented and they're dry. There's nothing in them anymore. So these I'm just going to throw away. They have no collector value because they're damaged. But these do. These will go up in a lot. I'll probably put those chemicals up together. Cat eye. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. It's it's plastic. Cat's eye number 45. That'll be. We'll look that up. That lenses like that, unusual lenses like that, are usually will usually sell. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, I've got boxes. Okay, so I've got boxes of these that have spilled out. It looks like there are stuff like this. Not really sellable. I don't know what this is. This might have fallen out of a 163FA. That looks like it fell out of a carburetor. Yeah, the bottom of this box is just covered in parts that have fallen out of these carburetor kits. Carb intake manifold gasket, 24 pieces. Now this is something that you can look these up. There's 24 of them in here, so they're worth looking up to selling. It's a carburetor gasket. B8A, B6A. Okay, so it's 1956, probably several years after that. These are a useful item. Maybe somewhat hard to find, so that'll be worth looking up. If nothing else, you can sell all 24 of them for one money. That's a good item. Here's the rest of the junk that's in the bottom of this. Yeah, see, here's the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's in the bottom of the box. It's just stuff down in the bottom of the box. These springs, I have no idea what they are. The boxes, I don't think. $0.15 a piece. 927D. This one has no part number on any of these. I have no idea. It's like, yeah, and I can tell you right off the bat that these are not worth the time to figure out what they are. I'll throw them in a lot or something with other parts. I mean, I don't want to throw them away, but there's not something that's going to be lucrative in and of itself. I got a replacement spark valve non-bleeder type. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, here's another Jiffy Kit. This one's actually sealed, but there would have been other parts with it. So, and again, there's rubber bits in there that are not going to fare well with ethanol gas. like these. This is a rubber gasket. That would just be toast. You'd be driving down the road and that would just melt. This was a Jiffy Kit that's been opened. I don't know what this is. This is a bracket of some kind. Probably not a... I'll look that up, but it's probably not a part that's sellable. SUBK 1099K 1 kit. Looks like it's mounting clips for some sort of molding. The package has been cut open, so there's pieces missing out of here. So I don't know. If I've never seen those before, it might be something worth looking up. But this stuff is a curiosity, but unfortunately not sellable. So in the garbage it goes. And that, with that sad commentary, is the end of this tote. So as usual, thanks for watching.